Hi, Corey Lewandowski. My name is Francisco Jorge. I'm a Cuban-born naturalized citizen of the United States of America. I reside in Wyoming. I am a volunteer for Trump. You can find me in your database. And I came up with an idea for having Mr. Trump break ground in Wyoming. I've gone to the trouble of procuring the help of a local broadcaster who broadcasts in 5 different states. I will provide you with all the information you need. In fact, in this video, you will see Glenn Woods. And let's not mistake Glenn Woods with Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck doesn't like Mr. Trump. I like Mr. Trump, okay? So anyways, you will see Glenn Woods, and he is willing to interview Donald Trump. Who wouldn't want to, right? But this is Wyoming. It's not enough to see Donald Trump on Sean Hannity. We want to see him or hear him through one of our local guys. That would be Glenn Woods. It's up to you. We'll give you all the information. I've included a video of Glenn, and he's willing to get up at any hour of the day or night to get this interview with Donald Trump, or perhaps you just might want to call him for an interview. Okay, just yourself perhaps to break the ice on that. I've also got a gentleman who has acreage, and we've looked at a number of different venues. The biggest one we've looked at is 20,000. It's a rodeo type environment, seat 20,000 people. That's in Cheyenne. So we've broken ground here in getting everything together so that Donald Trump can come to our state. We would love to have the Donald in person come and speak with us. This is a grassroots effort. I don't trust the Republican Party, and nobody should really, because of what's going on in the hierarchy. So we're doing our best to accommodate Donald Trump in any way that he desires. You will receive all the information you need in just a couple of seconds. By the way, excuse the mess. I'm in my basement, and as you can tell, I've stuffed everything that I can't put anywhere else here. All right, Corey, have a good day. Stay tuned for the rest.
Hello, Corey. My name is Glenn Woods. I host the Bold Republic radio show, which is heard in 5 states that most candidates usually fly over: Wyoming, Nebraska, the Dakotas, Montana. These are the energy-producing states. We may not have much on population, but we produce 40% of the nation's energy right here in Wyoming alone. So we need Donald Trump to stop here and hear what the people of these states have to say to him. Most presidential candidates wouldn't even bother. The best way to reach out to the people of these states is through this radio show, the Bold Republic Radio Show. Find out more at boldrepublic.com.
So this is for Corey. I believe Corey is Donald Trump's campaign manager. And Corey, with me, I have Emily Hasenauer. Go ahead, Emily. Say hello to Corey, would you?
Well, first of all, Corey, congratulations on getting Donald Trump ahead in the polls. I think Donald Trump has the message that America wants to hear, and we've worked hard here in Wyoming. I am M. Lee Hasenauer. Just remember that last name's tough. Hasenauer. We have about 700 folks here in the capital city of Wyoming. Laramie County is a big Republican pothole for the state of Wyoming. We're real close to the southeastern edge of Wyoming, so we get a lot of radio stations down in Colorado, KCOL, and then we're just 100 miles north of Denver. Then we also are real close to Nebraska. So to have Mr. Trump come to Cheyenne, Wyoming, he would be affecting a tri-state effect right here in this area. And we are been organizer for 10 years. We know the ins and outs of this community. We have several facilities that we could host an event, not large ones inside, 1,000 people. We could do a meal at Little America. I was talking to the folks today. There is some really nice large churches that has great PA systems that will seat over 1,000. Then the media here, if we let them know, there's at least 4 or 5 radio stations, 4 or 5 television stations. I'm sure Fort Collins and Denver, some folks out of Scottsbluff, Nebraska would come up here too. So you're hitting quite a few folks when you come to Cheyenne, Wyoming, because we are the capital.
Now, Emily, let me interrupt you for a second. I know that here on The 20th, it is, Ted Cruz will be in Cheyenne. So Ted Cruz will be at one of the events there, and that's being hosted on one of the ranches. You also you have a ranch also, don't you?
Yeah, we have a 5-acre ranch. It's not huge, but we could probably do up to maybe 4,000 people on. We've had tea parties out here.
And you've got tents and everything. I've been to your tea parties. They're wonderful. There's also the choice of an arena that sits 20,000 folks. The problem here is if there is rain, and at least in your case, you would have a tent. So that holds about 200 people, and anybody standing outside can still see in. So that way, Mr. Trump, if he comes up, he and his crew will be away from the rain, as will a few others, and I don't mind holding an umbrella. But we have been talking about indoor seating, and the capacity is generally 1,000. You have about 3 different venues. Little America, you said, where you can even buy a meal, serve a meal, if that's the type of event that they want. And you've got a church that seats 1,000 or more, right? And
that is correct. We host the world's largest outdoor rodeo here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Frontier Days. It's probably been talked about and seen by some of your guys, Corey. We could do a tent here, and I think you could bump that up to 4,000 or 5,000 people standing on the 3 acres of. You're talking about a grass room, you're talking about prairie grass, But we have electricity, and we can accommodate a large group out here parking down the county roads and stuff.
And Emily, another thing I want to mention is that during the last election cycle for governor of Wyoming, you were hosting. Oh, good Lord! Why can't I remember his name?
Dr. Taylor Haynes.
Dr. Taylor Haynes was there. Yes.
Oh, he's a great man, and we were pushing to get him elected, and we had a great big event here, and it turned out wonderful. And we actually had it in our big garage. We had that barn raising event, and we kind of take heed of the weather out here, but a tent could accommodate the speakers and make it right. And
so capacity is not a problem, and finding a place also is not a problem given enough time. But I want to move on to something else, Emily. There are problems with how the event is handled. Say, for example, and I am speaking just for myself, I do not trust the Republican Party. Okay? That's where I'm at. They've given me nothing to trust. And I know that there is a group there within the Republican Party that is completely anti-Trump. So I would say that this event, it depends on Mr. Trump and his group, how they want to play it, and we would help them. It can be a Tea Party event. It can be a Tea Party event with Republicans invited also, or it can be strictly a Republican event. It all depends on how the Donald Trump group wants to host it, right?
That is correct. Ted Cruz did beat you to it. He'll be here Thursday. The Tea Party will go out and tailgate that in the parking lot. They'll probably have a 1,000 person event there at the Hereford Ranch. Ted Cruz knew the importance of this area and the tri-state effect. But with Donald Trump coming in, it just depends what he wants. If he wants the Chamber of Commerce and the higher up big donors from the Republican Party, then you have it at Little America and you have a meal and it's a suit and tie event. If you want grassroots, we can accommodate that too. Somewhere along the line, to get elected, you need the Republican Party to come along. I don't think there's so much anti-Trump here because I first stated this, that he's got the message America wants to hear. Make America great again, get tough with China. The one issue in Wyoming, I think it's a hit out of the ballpark, is the attack on coal, the EPA, because this is how we get our funding for local governments is through coal and gas and oil. We're an energy-rich state, and Obama's just attacking it. So any candidate coming in, we would encourage them. That's the topic. That's where you want to nail it out of the park. What's your plan to stop the attack on coal? We want to build more power plants, not less. We want to sell our clean coal to China. So there is some conflicts with the Republican Party, but with the Tea Party working hard, myself and I belong to the Tea Party caucus. We'll be going to an event tonight to talk to them. There's about 45% that are Tea Party conservative, we want to do the Reagan thing and change the Republican Party so they think more about we the people instead of the government, we the government. So,
okay, now,
anyway,
Emily, how would they contact you? What's the preferred method of contact?
Oh, I love my open phone here, 307-640-4248, but you can email me at m.leectp@hotmail.com. We're the Cheyenne Tea Party USA organizer here in Laramie County.
All right. Well, excellent. I think we've covered it all, Emily. Thank you very much, and I hope the Trump campaign does contact you and that we can get something going for Trump. I think, for me, Trump is the guy. There is nobody else. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, and we will make it work. We've got the connections here with the chamber. We've got the connections with the Republican Party, radio stations, television stations. It's just what I've been doing a long time. In fact, they called me today and on some issues with the guy coming in Thursday. So that's just the way it goes. You got to get with the grassroots movement. It's called word of mouth, and we put our folks to work right away. If that's what he wants to do, we'll be glad to make him welcome here in the state of Wyoming. Thank you.
Thank you.